YouTube.
All right, here we
I
go.
could be wrong, but I don't think you do.
All right, just check now. Well, it's a little bit late, so it should come on now. All right, guys. So
All right.
yep, cool. Let's get into our top plays and highlights from yesterday. Here was our watch list. This one here. We had some possibles over here. These were really low flow stocks, so I didn't really watch these. Actually, I took them off. And then these were throughout the mid morning. These were some that became very active. So we're not going to get into these, but HTC, for example, just started selling up out of nowhere. RH was also a part of the gappers list a little bit later. This one, some was interesting. This is one that just took off in the middle of the day, middle of the morning. Sorry, just some news about a possible merger, and this thing just ramped up. So hit a turbo breakup, and then Tesla was also again very active. So I had those on there as possible. So. But let's look at our top list over here, which is starting with Lulu. Lulu was on our watch list. It was on the gappers list, and you can see here it traded well. But this drop here was very aggressive. After this drop, it was very difficult to catch a trade. I didn't want to chase it. A lot of people in the channel did not want to chase this unless you got in for a 1 minute opening range breakup. You really were going to have a hard time trying to get an opening breakdown on this one, because then the pullback. Get a pullback that's pretty much aggressive, and then it switches directions a bit. It becomes a little choppy within this area. And don't get fooled by these candles, guys. Some of these candles are $1.50, right? So that's a lot to hold through on a stock that has a lot of activity and a lot of volume. So that's what I saw on that stock yesterday. Then eventually settles down, loses VWAP, and you get another nice drop all the way down here to this moving average. So again, so it was all about the entry on Lulu. You really couldn't try to hold too much on a pullback. If you had a bad entry, the pullbacks were too aggressive. BYND, again, I'm not a fan of this stock, so I wasn't really watching it. You can see here it did a pop over towards close to the high of the pre-market at that time, and then it drops down below VWAP, consolidates a bit, then it heads back up. So again, the stock has been very strong. Today's opening up flat, but again, it's just very hard to trade at the morning open. AMD is one that I saw after the fact. Again, I missed this beautiful drop here. AMD traded well today. Traded well yesterday. Didn't trade well the day before. But here's just a beautiful opening range breakdown. You get the drop. Here's your opening range. You get a nice pullback to VWAP, and then from there on the way down, it doesn't sell off immediately, but you can see it doesn't test your entry after that. Really follows this 9 moving average on the 5 all the way down to 31.40. So almost a dollar and change, a little less than $1 move there on AMD. So traded very clean. Just had to be patient, right? Kind of just rolled down this moving averages here, and then Andrew, I believe, had called there was a level he had here. I think this one, 31.40. He was in short on this one, but he got out a little early. But he said, I know it's going to continue to drop. And then seconds or like a minute or two later, you get this beautiful drop here. TLRD we had on our list, but didn't do much. Just popped up and just kind of consolidated here, not doing anything, pretty choppy. Then it sold off a bit, but again, just not really tradable. And the volume wasn't really there. You had this one candle with a lot of volume, and the rest just kind of died down a bit. MU was great and beautiful opening range breakup. You also had several strategies on here. So you had a mini bull flag forming here after this pop. You get the consolidation, and I like when you get the VWAP below it, and you see every time this tries to sell below VWAP, it pushes back up, pushes back up, pushes back up. If you wait for a 5-minute opening range breakup, there's your 5-minute here, right? So you got several candles confirming that this thing is making higher highs, higher lows, plus a bull flag above the moving average and the VWAP. So in here it would have been a perfect entry for opening range breakup on the 5, and then you get a beautiful pop breaking the high of the day and heading up towards this level here, 33.60. So MU traded very nice. Uber also it was trading nice. It did kind of an ABCD pattern on the one. My concern with Uber that it seemed extended, right? Had ran up on the pre-market already, and then here I was expecting for it to drop. I mean, just seemed like it was just too strong already. I was expecting people to take profits since it had gapped up, and it did. It had this crazy drop here happen in the 5 minutes, just drop all the way down past the low of the day, and then from there it just became pretty choppy. Every candle engulfing the previous candle. And then these here, I didn't really watch. These were some that were very active. Some of them were lower flow stocks or lower price. Again, just didn't really watch how these were trading yesterday. PRBV also didn't do much. It's kind of just chopped around, so nothing fun to watch there. But as you can see, guys, throughout the mid-morning, we had several stocks that came up that were very active, right? HTC, ARH, some CBay, I don't remember this one, and Tesla. So a few stocks that we can get off our scanner. Sometimes when we don't have the best watch list, our scanners can provide us some good stuff to watch that has momentum. All right, so let's remove this here. Let's see what the SPY is doing today. I have not checked that out yet. See how we are opening up this morning. looks like pretty flat. Norm, what
Down
do we got
relatively
going on
flat.
today? Yeah.
Today, I think today's largely going to be a snooze fest myself. Frankly, I think there's maybe 3 companies reporting today. There are no-name kind of deals, essentially, for the most part. Let me double check. SPY is flat. Of course, excuse me, there's 4 companies reporting today. There's only one that's priced over $5. A couple reported yesterday, but no real big names. And then, of course, we've got the Iran oil tanker situation going on, which some people are concerned that is going to cause some turmoil in the Middle East. And I think probably the biggest news as far as the markets are concerned is Broadcom came out, released yesterday, and their guidance was abysmal. So that's hitting all the semi sector from MU, AMD. That's why they're in the position they are.
All right, that makes sense. Yeah, I saw AMD was down today as well. AMU's popping up in our gappers list also. So yeah, that's bringing these guys down a bit here. So I see AMD's down 2.2 right now, and MU's down about 3.1. So, all right.
And, yeah, and AVGO is Broadcom that I was talking about. So
AVGO, yep. All right, so and you can see all these guys right on our gappers list. So let's go through these. So first up, we have ARQ, ARQL. I also see ARQL all over our tab list over here.
NASDAQ.
We have it. Yeah, we have it here. We have it here. So let's see what's going on this one. What's the flow also? Oh, it's 100 million shares flow. It looks like a low flow. Yeah, looks like a low flow based on the way it's trading in the price action, but it's not. So that's good. And we have traded in the past. I see we have some levels in here, probably when it was in place sometime around here. Oh, definitely on this day when it gapped up, probably. I'm sure. So this one is a former runner. We have traded in the past. It's not a low flow. Very active today. What is the news on this one? Why are they popping up today? 45%.
It's a biotech company, and they had some positive phase 1 trial results, I believe, that they released. So that's what's popped it up.
All right, excellent. So that's going to be interesting today. Daily chart looks all right. You can see here, you got a nice little flow to it. Not great, pretty flat for the most part on the majority of the days. But when it does get the volume, right, when you look at that, what does it do when it gets the volume? You can see it does pop up when it gets the volume. You do get movement, so that's important. So this will be a fun one to watch today. It's not a low flow stock, so it's tradable. You can manage your risk. You're not going to get, when something is 101 million shares flow, it's very almost impossible to do a pump and dump on something like that, right? Opposed to something that's a 5 million, 2 million shares float, 100 million. You can't just drop the hammer on people and drop a buck or two in a matter of seconds. That's not going to happen.
It's already traded 5 million shares this morning, so it's pretty hard for somebody to pump that much. So
absolutely. So 4.9 heading to 5 right now and up 46%. So this one definitely be one to watch. Well, a lot of activity and a good pre-market action. You see a nice pre-market action happening here. So this will be good. Next we have AMD, one of our favorites. AMD here is down 2.2%. It looks like it's trying to bounce back though. It was down even more than 2% when it was around this area here. We kind of are getting like a bounce now, so that's good. Pre-market action looks good. So the AMA yesterday was great, guys. Andrew and Peter were answering several questions. One of the questions we got quite often was, how do you know when is a good pre-market action or a good daily chart? So we do have class 2 in our YouTube channel. So search for class 2 in our YouTube channel. You can see how how we compare class daily charts and good pre-market action versus bad pre-market action. This one here is only 8:45 Eastern time, and this is already creating a good pre-market action. So what do we mean by that? From here to here, again, this is not great. If this was the pre-market action, this would not be a good pre-market action. But even from here, you start seeing this nice little flow, right? You start seeing some kind of patterns building. You're actually getting some candles, some bodies. Here, you're not getting any bodies. It's pretty flat, right? If it was like this, this wouldn't be great. And you also got some volume, right? So you have 1 million shares traded here. Volume is not everything. Sometimes you get the volume and it could look just like this. We've seen that, that usually some block trades. So volume is not everything. You want volume plus a nice little flow. You see these patterns building up, and that's what creates a good pre-market action. It's almost the same thing for the daily chart too. Some daily charts look like this for a lot of gappers. If you look at FCIA, which is fiat. I forget the ticker. FC.
FCA
AU. I was close. There we go. So if you look at this one, right? Look at this daily chart. This is horrible, right? So this is not this is something you don't want to be trading. This is a bad daily chart. So when we say this looks horrible, this doesn't look good, we're talking about these gaps. There's no flow to it at all. This also looks like algo trading here. That's what you don't want to see when you're trading a stock. Next we have on the list MU, another one of our buddies here. So MU. Let's dig in here. I'm going to get rid of some of these levels, although it's very congested now that we're dropping here. So MU is down 3%. Now this pre-market action is not great. See the difference here? This is very choppy. You don't have a flow to it. You have a lot of candles with no bodies in here, and the volume is a lot less than what we're seeing on AMD, right? So big difference between AMD and MU on here. But we know the characteristic of MU. You tend to have this type of open, and it will give you an amazing day.
You know that MU will get the volume once the market opens. There's no doubt. I've never seen a day when MU doesn't have heavy volume. Really.
Exactly. And a great example here, guys. So we get the question a lot: why do you guys always watch MU or AMD? Well, because they're hot right now. The minute these things stop getting the volume, we will stop watching them. But look at MU, for example, yesterday. This is a horrible pre-market action. If this was any other stock, no, we would scrape it immediately. We'd take it off the list.
Throw it away immediately. Yep.
But MU, right at the open, boom, there it is. 986,000 shares traded. Nice pop, beautiful trading, a nice open range breakup. Got a little somewhat of an engulfing pattern here, definitely getting toppy, and then a nice drop to VWAP, loses VWAP, and then that could be a not a false VWAP breakout, but a loss of VWAP all the way towards the low of the day. So just amazing trading on something that looks very bad on the pre-market action. So that is what we see on MU. Again, this is nasty, but I'm going to watch it because we know the volume is going to be there. AVGO, as Norm was mentioning earlier, we got some news going on with them. They're taking a big hit, down 8.9. Only 117,000 shares traded, so not crazy just yet, but a nice big drop. 9% of 280 is quite a bit, so you can see it on the daily chart. It has a nice little drop here. So this will be good to watch. Right now, pre-market action is not looking great. Again, compared to an MU, this is like a 5 out of 10. And AMD is like a 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10 right now. This is a great pre-market action. But we'll watch it. I do like the daily chart, so we'll keep an eye on this one also. All right, so hopefully that helped. I know we took a little bit longer to go through these and show you some examples of good and bad stuff and what we're looking for. But again, class 2 is available, and you can check that out. Norm,
I'm just going to chime in one thing. Yeah, I'm going to chime in one thing on AVGO. I will trade, if I'm going to trade something along these lines, I'm going to use AMD or MU, or, I mean, you could do a number of things. AMAT will get hit. Intel, INTC. There's a number of these semi-related companies that will, semiconductor-related companies that will move based on the AVGO news. AVGO trades very lightly in general, and it's a $256 stock as of right now.
Yeah, very
expensive. It can have a big spread. I'd rather play a sympathy mover like an MU or an AMD with really heavy volume and a steadier price movement, because I've watched AVGO trade and it does not trade very well. So just a heads up on that, guys.
Yeah, that's actually very, very important. So these other ones are going to possibly be in play as well with this news coming out. So we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, so let's get into the NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers. LGCY has been very active lately. It's always on our gappers list, but again, it's a penny stock. ARQ we have already down here. So again, just looking very active right now. 5.2 million shares traded. High of the pre-market right now at 10. So let's see if we can get up there. It's been holding this, having a hard time with 9. Looks like 964, 950-ish area. Let's see if it can hold here and become a runner for today. SLS is a penny stock as well. AMD we have. NASDAQ ETS right in here, so we'll skip those. Next we have TVIX Volatility Index, so we'll bypass that. SINT also has been on a gappers list a lot, very similar to LGCY, which is penny stock, so we'll leave those alone. ADMO, another penny stock, and AMRH, also a penny stock. ARQ,
that is one garbage list right there.
Yeah, no, exactly. Let me look at this thing here. So next we have DGLY. DGLY. All right, so we got some activity happening here on the pre-market action, but there's no volume though, only 40,000 shares, so we'll skip that. SFED, not much volume right now. We have looked at this one before, but again, it's just not much activity at the moment. SVRA, this one was on our list yesterday also. What did it end up doing yesterday? So it gapped down, but didn't really move much. So look at this. So we had a big gap down. This one gapped down probably at about 60-40% or even more. But then look at the day yesterday. It just didn't really do much. This candle is what, 289, and we're down to 30 cents a day, right? So it's not one that moves a lot. Something you probably don't want to be watching. KPTI, we got no volume at the moment. If this gets going, we can come back to it. ACHV, we traded this one before in the past. I haven't traded it lately, so I'm not sure how's it going, but again, it's just horrible pre-market action. Really no volume. Just got one block trade, a small block trade, but 12,000 units being sold here, exchange. You can see it right here at 277, and that's basically 90% of the volume, so nothing to look at there. Next we have NDRA, also a penny stock, nothing going on. This thing is shifting on me as I'm going through it. USLV, here we go. So USLV, well, this is not trade. This is a credit. Yes, let's skip this. No volume here. So this is a UPWK, no volume. UGLD, also no volume at the moment. So yeah, also that not really tradable. All right, guys. So that is what we have. Let's see what you guys have on your end. What looks active? All right. So
got a few, Carlos.
Oh, excellent. Throw them out.
Facebook's looking good. Nvidia's looking good this morning. And potentially Apple and Disney, DIS.
DIS. Excellent. Oh, Facebook's looking actually really good. Yeah. It's got a nice pre-market action here. It's got some volume.
No.
In the daily chart, we've seen this type of setup before, right? It's looking like it wants to break out. You have a moving average here for a possible target. So Facebook is definitely interesting. Nvidia, quite the opposite. Looks like it's wants to sell off here. It's been, again, Nvidia's been so weak over the last couple of weeks, right? We've seen this drop just every day. It's just dropping. Even on their green days, you know, it's still higher highs, higher lows. I'm sorry, lower highs, lower lows, right? It's just kind of right, nice downtrend. We got some breathing room here, but it looks like it looks like it might want to head right back down. Again, no bias, but this daily chart looks very interesting with the way it's setting up. Apple's kind of got the same look as Nvidia, but Nvidia looks a lot weaker than Apple for some reason. And then DIS. Oh, DIS is nice. Yeah, I like the way DIS is setting up here on the daily. So we had a pop.
Not a lot of volume in this. Yeah, there's not a lot of volume in this, but it traded beautifully yesterday, and I love the daily on it.
Yeah, daily looks like it's, again, getting set up for a breakout. We've seen this so many times. So it looks like it's setting up that way. And what a great day yesterday. I did remember now some members in the chat room pointing out Disney yesterday. So that'll be a good one to keep an eye on today. All right, folks, so what we have here, so AVGO, oh yeah, so AVGO, big spread. So we're gonna actually throw this one down here. We can watch other ones like AMD, right? It's all, like Norm mentioned, these all could be affected by what's going on with the semiconductors. So really, like a MU, AMD, AMAT doesn't have the volume right now, but like a MU and AMD will be the ones to watch. You keep this on your list here, but again, it's a higher price style. You can trade other ones that are gonna be possibly in play, like a INTC, as Norm was mentioning earlier. What else we have? IGC, guys, it's not tradable. No volume at the moment. Well, actually, yes, there is volume, 326, but that volume is not creating no activity, no price action. So we'll skip that one. We have KURA. KURA has a low volume right now, only 24K. The daily chart looks nice. Has a nice breakout. Had a day yesterday.
The spread is atrocious on that.
Oh yeah, look at that. 40
cents.
40 cent spread. Yeah. So yeah,
and if you try to get more than 200 shares of it, you're going to end up going down to 19.18 to buy it.
Yeah. So it's not a lot of liquidity. That's a great point here. I mean, you got this guy here at 20, 30, and then from there you drop almost $1. So again, just not really looking good right now. Facebook we have. Yeah, let's look at FB. Let's see, oops. There we go. Let's look at FBRR. See what Fiverr is up to today. So this one was hot yesterday, opened up at 25 or so, and then shot up all the way to 42. So again, this one will be fun to watch. I'm gonna throw it down here. Again, I personally don't like trading recent IPOs because it's just not a lot of information on there, and for the most part, you don't have shares for sure, so you can only play them long. So again, not really my niche, but again, this one is hot yesterday. You know, if you got in yesterday looking here for a run for a scalp, you got definitely took some benefits of hitting some good numbers here. So RRGB right now doesn't have the volume. What did it do yesterday? It had a great day yesterday. We had it on our list yesterday, but again, just right now,
it ran yesterday.
yeah, it ran nicely, but just no volume this morning. What else we have? ICG, yeah, we looked at that one already, and here we have CHYW. Just check that.
CHW. It's
CHWY. Yeah, that one's not coming up for me.
It's an IPO, Carlos. It won't come up until later today.
Gotcha. New IPO. All right, excellent. All right, Nick. So we'll look out for that. All right, let's see what we have over here. So CHWY IPO. Thank you, Bryson. Good. ARQL we have already. That one's very active this morning. What else? Okay, so I think that's it, guys. So let's go get to some announcements. Then we're gonna go through this list. We have quite a bit for a Friday. Not bad actually. And I like the fact that we have AMD and MU here because I like trading those. So if they're in play, this could be a good morning for us. Norm, what do we have for announcements coming up for today, this weekend, or next week?
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of last minute, but Andrew has a layover in Houston, and last minute meetup Sunday, this coming Sunday. There's a forum post on it to go have breakfast with Andrew in Houston this weekend. So sorry for the late notice. Next week, Andrew and I will be in New York and then Montreal, June 22nd. He'll be speaking at the Modern Traders Summit, Montreal, Saturday, June 22nd. Day before that, a week from today, the 19th. We're going to have a meetup. Peter, William, myself, Andrew will be there. So come see us, check the forums for the location and the information on that. Next Lifetime webinar is going to be June 27th, 8 p.m. Eastern. So you can go in the chat and post the questions for today. And then last but not least, and this one is really kind of awesome news. In July, we are going to have a podcast with world-renowned trading psychologist and author, Dr. Brett Steenbarger, in the chat room. So I am sure we will have more info to come, date, time, all that stuff. But I know a lot of people have read his books. We've been in contact with him about some stuff, and he's going to come meet with us. So I am really excited about that one.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be great, man. Cannot wait. That guy all his books are great. He has so much experience and knowledge. To have him in our chat room and go over some things will be amazing. So looking forward to that as well.
You can post questions. I meant to be to start it off. I posted one just of what people ask me on the side, which was, especially psychology wise, what advice can you give to get out of a slump? There's a forum post where you can put questions there, start a conversation about it. So up top in the alerts in the room, you can do that.
Yep, Abby will post to that, guy. So definitely go in there, ask the questions, and then we'll put them together for this podcast. All right, folks.
One last thing, Carlos. If you're in YouTube and you would like to try out our chat room, there's a 2-week trial. You can get it at a reduced rate if you use the code premarket24, premarket24, no spaces or anything like that. Doesn't renew, so you can come check out the room if you haven't before.
Yep, absolutely. It's a great way to see what's happening. And one of the things that I like that was mentioned the AMA yesterday is like, you never want to go into a chat room and just sign up for the entire year off the bat and just, throw a bunch of money on there. You want to try it out first, see if it's a fit for you with any chat room, not just ours. If any chat room tells you, you got to buy now, don't do that. Do a tryout, 30 days, whatever, 2 weeks, whatever they give you, see if it's right for you and try different chat rooms, right? Not every chat room is the same. So try every chat room and see which one fits your trading style. All right, guys, so let's get into it. So we have ARQL on here, very active. Let's find some Daily levels, we have high of the pre-market sitting at $10 exactly. On the downside, I'm going to mark down this one here because this seems like the most recent level close to where the price action is now, 793. Gonna go back and see what else can we find here. Are we at all-time highs? I don't think we were, but we might be. No, there's some action here. All right, so gonna go in here and see if we can find anything close to where our price level is at the moment. Maybe we are all-time high. No, but we're going really far back though. So this is, again, the older these levels are, they lose a little bit of weight. But no, we're gonna mark something down here anyways. We're gonna mark 1056, and here towards the bottom you have several days bouncing around this 951. Then towards the bottom you have a level of support here. You see several days just kind of testing this area around here. So I'm gonna mark that down. This will be right here around 845. So this is a good level of support. There we go. 849, 845. You can see several days just using that as support here after they break through it. And after they lose it, they really lose. So you got two things happening here on that support. On the breakout, you can see it goes higher, it finds strength. On the downside, you can see it goes lower, it just finds weakness, selling off. So that 850-ish level is a nice one to have. Right now, it looks like it's just consolidating. Had a big pop early this morning. And what was the news on this one, Norm, that we had? And this is not a low flow, by the way. It's 101 million shares, I believe. ARQL. Yeah, so it's a larger size float, so it is tradable. It's not a pump and dump situation here. Next, we had AMD. So AMD is nice. I'm just gonna remove some of these levels and find some new ones. So we have a moving average right on here, but instead I'm going to mark down the low of the pre-market at 30.22. Below that, we have a 2 days over here on 29.59. You can see these 2 days kind of testing this area here. Even this one here, opening and closing right on there. So that 29.59 could be something. Towards the top, we got plenty now. High of the pre-market, very close to what the low of yesterday was. So I'm not going to mark that right now because it looks like it's about to crack it anyways. It looks very strong, like it's trying to rebound now. Rebound is it was down more than 2% this morning for the pre-market, again hitting that 32.22. So it might be heading up to this 31 level here. Then above that previous day close, that 31 level also has a moving average coming right in there as well. So again, plenty of levels on AMD here. Let's go down to MU. Daily charts have been a little choppy on MU. It's just kind of bouncing up and down, But again, we know the intraday action is very nice. Let's mark the low of the pre-market down here, 32.02. Also bouncing back a bit, was down more than 2.5% at the low, but now it's kind of rebounding a little bit. So that's the low of our pre-market at the moment. It must be the low for some time too, right? Yeah, we're going back to the beginning of the year. I'm just gonna find another low here just in case we decide to do a U-turn and head down. 30.88 will be one. We have this one all the way down here, 28.44. I don't think we're gonna hit that today, but I'm gonna mark that down just in case. The 30.88 is a more reasonable level to have below this 32.02. AMAT, again, this is one that can possibly run later today. I'm gonna keep it down here, guys. So as you know, with the news with AVGO, as Norm mentioned earlier, a lot of these semiconductors could be in play today. So AMAT, I'm going to keep down here to watch closely. Facebook looks good. Looks like it wants to break out here. I love the daily chart, guys. So you can see it had a nice drop, kind of rebounded back, and then it started consolidating here. Now it's breaking out of this range. So this could be interesting for today. So right now, pre-market is looking great. It's got some volume starting to pick up. 198,000 shares traded. I'm going to mark down the high of the pre-market at 180.75. Let's go into the daily chart, see what else we can find. We got a moving average coming in here, $2 above the price action now, 182.09. So I'm going to mark that down as well. And then here you got somewhat of consolidation happening here. So I'm going to mark the top of this one at 184.75. So again, looking pretty interesting on Facebook. Towards the bottom, you have plenty. That's why I'm not going to add anymore. You have all these all these levels here, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So, and you also have the previous day close right in here. And you have right at the low of the pre-market, you have a moving average sweeping in right under there as well. So that's good on Facebook. Pre-market action is looking great. Hopefully you can get a little more volume, just get this going. But I expect Facebook is going to get that. Let's look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA's pre-market action is not looking as great, but the daily chart is looking really good. So it's kind of looking weak, but anything's possible. So we got a low of the pre-market at 143.04. Clear level down here, obviously 132.65, so we'll mark that down. Let's see if we can find something clean under 143. I'm assuming this one probably the best one. Again, you got a lot of choppiness going on here. Not a clean change in direction like this one here. We have a very clean level. You know, here another very clean level as well. So we'll leave that 139 as well. Again, if it sells off, I don't think it's going to sell down that much anyway. But we have a level there just in case. Apple's got some decent volume. Also looking like it might want to turn the corner. It's at a point, actually, it can go either way. It can bounce from these moving averages here because you got plenty of moving averages right below the low of the pre-market, which I'm going to mark now. Low of the pre-market at 190.12.
Yeah, 190 is a pretty reasonable area of support for Apple, and it has been support and resistance in the last couple months.
So that we actually talked about that. You're right. Again, you see that 190, that line coming across. You can see support, resistance in several areas when it hits that line. So we have, and then you got all these moving averages supporting right under as well. So that's going to be a good area of support. If it does break that possibility, it can run down to 185. Again, who knows what's going to happen, but we have your levels on there. Towards the top, you have plenty. I'm going to mark down the high of the pre-market at 192.65. But then above that, you have so many other levels of previous day highs and lows. When the last 2 days consolidate like this, you create a lot of levels because you have your highs and lows from those both days, and also you have the previous day close right in between there as well. Let's go over to Disney. So Disney, the daily chart looks amazing. Had a beautiful day yesterday. Nice little pop here. It might be wanting to put in a continuation day today, right? So it's already up a little less than 0.5%. I'm going to mark down the high of the pre-market at 142.72. Are we all-time high on this? I think we are, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that makes it even more interesting, guys. Do remember that when they came out with, this was when they came out with the streaming service, right? I think that was that pop there. So, all right, so then towards the bottom, guys, low of the pre-market around 141.11. So we'll mark that down. If we lose that, I don't think we're heading south on this one today, but if we lose that, we have another daily level here at 140.02. All right, guys. So AMAT we looked at already. We have some levels for this. Actually, this I have as a possible, so I'm going to keep this one on here. INTC is also a possible, depending on how these semiconductors trade. These can also hit our our turbo breakup and down scanners today, so we're going to keep a track of that. AVGIO, I'm not going to trade this one because it's a higher price stock. Again, like Norm mentioned, we can watch AMD, MU, and some of these other semiconductors are better. I think that is what I have so far, guys. Let me just make this list a little cleaner. So we have ARQ, L, AMD, MU. Out of all of these, I think I like Facebook. I'm gonna throw Facebook up here. Just remove this one over here. Get Facebook in there. NVIDIA, I'm gonna put down here as a possible. I got a lot of possibles today, which is nothing wrong with that, right? So I'm not gonna watch these on my actual screens, but I'm gonna have them ready to go. I'm gonna have Apple down here and Disney as a possible for mid-morning. All right, and then I have Fiverr as well, just to take a look at it. But again, recent IPO, I'm most likely not going to trade it. So I'll just keep it there just in case, just to look at it, see how that action goes. So on my list, I have ARQ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A little too much. Disney might have to take us. Yep, there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, perfect. Yep, that's my 6, guys. All right, anything else you guys like that might be good for today? Anything else that we have missed, Norm, that we should take a look at? I think we have a decent list for today.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty decent list. It'll be interesting to see what happens with them, especially the semis.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. That's why I got AMD, both AMD and MU on there. Those are my favorites for today, especially AMD's trading really nice with a lot of volume. So look at this pre-market action, guys. You're getting a beautiful uptrend here with some volume. 1.3 million shares traded so far. So that's what we're going to be looking for. NVIDIA, also, again, not much volume right now, but it is gapping down 2.5. Daily chart looks great. I like the way it's setting up here. So I'm looking forward to that also. Let me see some of the possibles. AMAT's not really doing too much right now, but let's get some levels just in case it hits our scanners, guys. So we have the lower pre-market at 40.29. High of the pre-market sitting right at 40.74. Towards the bottom, it's pretty choppy in this area here, so very difficult to find daily levels when you have that, but you could somewhat have one here, 39.37. Could put that down as well. INTC, get some levels in here. Low of the pre-market 45.66. The high is already sitting at the low of 2 days ago, so I'm not going to mark that down. You got some moving averages also right above the price action now as well. But towards the bottom, we got a nice level here. Although this is pretty choppy here in the daily chart. This level here, you could clearly tell it was a lot of support and resistance on this 45.12. So notice how starting from here, you can see it banging its head against that 45.12. Finally, it breaks out. And also these days, somewhat around 45 or so, using that as support. So that could be a good possible area as a target. AVGIO, I'm not going to trade, but again, this is one that's causing some of the ruckus as well. Just to watch carefully. And I think that, yeah, I think that'll be it, guys. Yeah, Brian, good morning. Yeah, Fiverr was great yesterday. So again, today's already very active. 402,000 shares traded. It's a recent IPO, so not a lot of information on it, but I am going to mark down the high of the pre-market here. Again, just opened up at 25, and this thing went to 40. So again, just a very nice way to start their IPO. Not a lot of stocks do that. We've seen a lot of IPOs. You know, first thing you do is go south. Lyft, Uber, all these guys. The first thing they did was just head down. So some fresh perspective there on Fiverr. All right, guys. So unless there's anything else, this is what we have. You guys have a great weekend. Before we log off, I always remind you guys that it is Friday. It's a day where you want to take it easy. You want to trade well, go into the weekend with a good mindset that you traded well, that you didn't force anything, that you were actually looking for good setups and following your rules. Very important, because having the whole weekend thinking about, man, I traded horribly, didn't follow my rules, it's the worst thing you could do. So whether red or green, make sure you follow your rules, and again, just be disciplined today. Very important to end Fridays that way.
And just a reminder, not only is it Friday, it's a summer Friday, so generally trading volume will be light. Later in the afternoon might even just be chop fest. So keep an eye on that. Trade safe. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, if you want to try out the room, pre-market 24 is the promo code to get a discount on the 2-week trial that does not renew.
Excellent. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend.